Hello!
Hello! Hi.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Welcome to another episode of the Right Stuf Anime Podcast!
Yay!
Woo! As always, I am Will. I am the social media coordinator.
I'm Devlin. I'm also a social media coordinator.
I'm Chris. I'm a merchandising coordinator.
I'm Olivia. I'm the token female because Quinn's not here.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
As you can tell, we are missing Quinn. Sad face.
She's on vacation. We don't feel so sad about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, after our last episode, she kind of needed a break from me and my murder spree.
It got real weird. Somebody who was sitting right next to you.
She'll have a lot of shows that she can talk about next time when she gets back.
She won't.
I'm sure that's all she's doing right this minute.
Glued to the screen.
Yeah, but since Quinn isn't here, there's no rules.
We're gonna do whatever we want.
Yay! So we're going to talk about a bunch of weird stuff.
Listen to our brains progressively melt as this goes on.
Yeah. It'll be interesting for sure.
But before we get all to that weird stuff, we should probably go ahead and talk about some of the news that's been going on. You've been our local reporter, Chris. You could start.
All right. I guess that a year or two of journalism class finally paid off or something.
It's the voice.
Yep. Anyway, one of the big things, we got a lot of big stuff going on this week. Couple of shows getting some new OVAs. First up, Laid Back Camp is coming back with an OVA. So you can kick back and watch your favorite girls just rough it in the outdoors.
It's not that kind of show. They're pretty laid back.
I know, but roughing it is a common phrase for camping.
Okay. I'm just imagining them like they're getting there, they setting up camp, and all
Fighting
of a sudden
off bears?
there's like bears and like a big rainstorm.
I mean, that sounds awesome.
It's just the training sequence from Full Metal Alchemist when Ned and Al are kids and they're just dropped on an island like, go! Don't die!
Now I'm just imagining this as a video game I really want to play. Like just adorable anime girls like in Valheim or something like that. Just building their own like tents and cabins and fighting off monsters.
You could pitch this to somebody.
I know. It sounds great.
Okay.
Make them all VTubers and get the licensing money there.
There we go.
I am slightly interested now in Laid Back Camp. It sounds like a good shonen.
Okay, it's not quite like that. It's more of a slice of life.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I could probably watch it then.
Yeah. Also getting an OVA, something we covered a while back, Given is getting an OVA.
Yay!
Yay! I miss my boys.
I think
All of the boys.
I think they didn't call it an OVA in the article I read. It was like OAD or whatever. Basically like a straight to DVD kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe like straight to internet. I've seen some of those too, ONAs.
Yeah.
I know it's supposed to be bundled with the newest Japanese volume.
Yeah, volume 7, if
Yeah.
I remember right. So maybe that'll come here eventually, hopefully, please. And
I think I remember reading, isn't it just pretty much what happened in the Given movie, but from a different perspective?
yeah,
Like-
it's what happened. It's what's going on with like Mafiu and Ionoma during the movie because we don't see them a lot during the movie. I think
No, we
Ionoma
don't.
gets like 2 seconds of screen time and then he's just kind of pushed off into the corner. So I'm excited to see what they were doing because I talked about it in the podcast. Like I was really invested in their relationship, and then when the movie came, they were just sidelined. Not on my paper.
See, I didn't mind that, but I am interested to see like what they were up
I
to.
mean, they'd have to be doing more than just eating burgers.
Mafiu
This is-
never left there. That's definitely not a McDonald's. But I think, I guess I don't know what Volume 6 is like since it hasn't come out yet in the States, but I'm wondering if this is like original content because for the most part, the series and the movie have been pretty faithful to the manga, so I'm excited to see what's going on.
Attack on Titan, everybody loves it, and it is making some more news because they released literally the biggest comic book in the world. And this is kind of a goof they felt like doing. This book is over 1 meter tall, weighs 30 pounds, and is running for about over $1,500 US. And they've earned a world record for it. Guinness has given them a record for the world's biggest comic book. They like to make things big in that show, and apparently it comes to print as well.
So if they already have the Colossal editions, which are like, they're bigger omnibus formats, what would they call this? Like, what's bigger than the Colossal Titan, I guess? I'm not familiar with Attack on Titan, really. So. The Colossalist Titan.
The Colossal Titans.
The big boy Titan.
Colossalist.
The big boy Colossal Titan.
Yeah, I remember seeing this like when they first released it, and I think it sold out really quickly. It's like $1,000 or something ridiculously expensive. But it's cool to see like they actually did it, and like they basically had the record. Like no one was really arguing it, but officially like they've been handed the award.
Yeah.
Like it's official. You did it.
Good boys. Good boys.
Make a bigger one.
Well done.
You did it, Kodansha. I'm proud of you.
Proud of you.
Yes.
Another big thing, one thing I'm personally excited for, Lupin the Third Part 6 is on its way.
Yeah.
It's celebrating the 50th anniversary of the series. It's hard to believe it's been around that long, but it's really cool. Like, one of the things I love about Lupin is, like, it just constantly reinvents himself.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out over and over again, like, each new version of the show or movie or whatever has a different angle. And so some can be very artistic, some can be very classic. And I'm really excited to see how it gets interpreted this time around.
Yeah, I know the trailer personally was giving off some spooky vibes. Spooky vibes when the trailer was like some interesting cuts. And I know that they were, like, I think I was hearing a description that, like, it's going to be like a kind of like split into two parts with two different like themes or moods. And the first part is going to be mystery. It'll be interesting to see where exactly the story goes.
I don't know where to start with this. It feels like a lot.
Oh no, it's really easy. It's like James Bond, so you could just really pick up any iteration and you'd be fine.
Another thing we want to mention, Right Stuff's adult imprint, Critical Mass, has announced a big release that a lot of people have been waiting for. Interspecies Reviewers is finally coming to Blu-ray. They are doing a steelbook version of it, and because we're adults around here, it's on our site. You can pre-order it now for the low price of $69.69.
Nice.
Thank you.
I had to.
Yep.
I can already tell Quinn is crying wherever she's at on vacation, probably in front of her screen. Her ear is ringing because I bet she is so stoked for this release.
Oh,
Yeah.
she has been one of the biggest pushers for the series ever since the manga first came out.
And I'm sure she loves this label attached.
Oh, yes. Yep.
I feel like she might have suggested it.
I like how we're saying this is the no rules, she's not here episode, and then she wants the one that is the most dangerous one on the list. So
She might talk about it once when she comes back, though.
This podcast is just going to be us talking about Quinn in various forms. Like,
Yes.
Quinn really likes this show. We really miss Quinn.
We do. We miss Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
Come back.
We do. We missed you, Queen, if you're listening to this.
she's not dead. And one last thing we want to point out, we just had go live on our site the vinyl for the Netflix anime BNA, Brand New Animal. This one looks really cool. We've got it's a 3-disc set featuring both the opening and closing themes on one disc and then the soundtrack on the other two. It comes in a really nice full-color slipcase. The sleeves of the records are beautiful. It also comes with a poster and a 68-page art book. So if you're a fan of the Studio Trigger anime, this is going to be something you want to check out. Like I said, it's on our website now, so check that out. Get your order in.
This just in.
Get something pretty.
The color scheme that they went with the vinyl is just beautiful.
My eyes are very happy.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just visually appealing. Even if you haven't seen the show, like myself, I would honestly buy this just because having that on your shelf it would just be what is it called? One of those items.
Centerpiece?
Centerpiece. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's
a
just
good
centerpiece.
conversational.
Yeah.
kind of
Yes, a
item.
good conversational item. Like, you have to get it. You have to.
So this is your first pre-order, right?
Yes.
Your pre-order number one?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have a record player, I will get one just for this one.
That's the beauty about records. Like, I'm old enough to remember when records were still coming out. And man, they're just, like, I miss having something big that you just put cover art on and have on display. Like, I still have some old, like, retro video discs of Star Trek 2 and Tron up in my apartment just because they look awesome. And that's one of the things I miss. I'm just being a random old here. All you kids, you're Spotifying your digital media and not ever being able to hold your music that you love.
At one point in high school, I tried going to like thrift stores and stuff and collecting vinyl, but very specifically musical theater cast albums.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm a big theater geek, and
Uh-huh.
all I could really find was a lot of Annie. And like, I think I got.
Your collection will grow tomorrow.
I think I stopped. I got like Annie and Jesus Christ Superstar, and that was about it. That's all I need.
You might have been just a few years early, but now you can get all the stuff you want nowadays. It blows my mind that vinyl has sort of overtaken CD as the media of choice now, and so you hardcore collectors, you can pick that up. Also, we got a lot of other great vinyls on our site too. We got a couple of Evangelion discs. The Cowboy Bebop one has been a hot seller. Chrome Air. We got a lot of awesome vinyl, so if you're a fan of that, check out our website. Get on that.
So, what's everyone watching now? Since
Anyone watching anything good, simulcasting or otherwise?
Yeah, has this spring simulcast been treating you guys pretty well?
I've been really bad at keeping up with the simulcast stuff. I have only really been keeping up with the final season of Fruits Basket, but I've been watching other stuff now and again. So last season, I found Skate really late in the game. Like, I found it like 3 or 4 episodes before the series was done and got completely obsessed with it.
Are you talking about Skate the Infinity?
Hell yeah, I am.
I need to watch more of that. I've watched the first episode and it was really cool.
It's so dumb in like the best way.
Oh yeah.
I think at one point I was just describing it to people as like himbos on skateboards. But I was watching the series and I really liked it, and then watched the finale and was really disappointed. And it was like, I just don't know how to explain it, but like, it felt like, I don't want to necessarily like deter you from watching it, but like,
don't expect a solid landing at the end.
it almost kind of felt like they knew they couldn't make everybody happy, so they chose to make nobody happy. Like,
That's always the worst.
2 siblings are fighting and you break both their toys.
Uh-huh.
But, because,
I think this is a great analogy. Dang.
but I was trying to like regain my love for the series because maybe there's gonna be a season 2. I heard online that there's like maybe some manga made. I really don't know. So I started watching the dub, and like, this is a rare instance where I actually kind of like enjoyed the dub, and it brings like a slightly different take to it. The people, you can tell like the actors are really into their roles, and like certain ships, like they ship their certain characters together, and you can kind of tell a little bit like. But so pro tip, if you're gonna watch it, I recommend either, I guess, trying the whole series, watching the whole series, going back and watching the dub, and stopping an episode early.
Very specific directions.
I don't know, because it's just tough to explain. Like, I don't know, I feel weird being like thrown on the spot like this because no one else has seen it. It's like the Tyra Banks, America's Next Top Model meltdown. She's like, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Don't give your main antagonist a redemption arc in the last half of an episode.
Nice.
Also, like, I mean, and aside from the finale, like, that's the only real big complaint I have, other than the fact that, like, their pants are like the most durable denim ever, I guess, because they'll skid like 3 feet on the concrete, and they get up and they have no ripped jeans. Like, can I have that?
If you get the good high quality denim, totally.
I have like tripped up a curb and like fallen down and completely shredded my pants, and you're telling me he can like someone can like do a full on like barrel roll down the down a hill. And
They're importing those super Levi's.
like, I need these in my life. Like, at some points they're like skating and like they have like metal on their gloves
Yeah.
or something, and they're making sparks. It's like, y'all good? How are you not dead?
Give me that cotton Kevlar blend. Make my pants live forever.
My pants are gonna be more durable than me.
Didn't Rick and Morty have like a jeans episode? Like,
I think I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
it was like in the finale, I think.
Like a weird sponsorship thing, and they couldn't destroy the denim or whatever.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
even know.
Well, since I've seen that one.
Okay. Okay, I'm
Get
looking.
my box sets out again.
I can't even remember really.
I can't remember all of it. I just remember denim jeans being the object that destroyed like this huge weapon that was going to destroy.
Was it like Wrangler or something?
Yes, it was Wrangler. Yes.
I can't tell if they actually got paid for that or not because
They probably did. There's a lot of weird ad integration with Rick and Morty that I've seen, like the Pringles commercials and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. By the way, if you enjoy that, we also have Rick and Morty on our site.
You go, Chris. Bring it back to sales.
Yeah, it's what I do. Give me money, please.
Please.
I'm not petty at all.
Well, what I've been keeping up with, no surprise to anyone, is My Hero Academia Season 5. It has been really heating up between Class 1A and Class 1B. We really get to see how much fighting has been going on between the two and just see how all of these, like, kids' quirks have just evolved and how they've developed it over the series. And it's just so amazing to see them just duke it out, honestly. If you haven't started My Hero, I don't know what you've been watching, but you need to start it now.
I can give you the list of the things I've been watching instead.
Yeah.
And you need to start it now. But it's been keeping my attention each week. It finally inspired me to read the manga, and now I can't stop putting it down.
No.
I
Wait, you
need
can't stop
help.
putting it down? I can only not read it. I can't stop putting it down.
Dang it, double negative. Okay, I can't stop reading it. There we go. It's been consuming my life. And then I did start To Your Eternity, and I think I am dead on the inside because I didn't cry.
Oh,
So
yeah.
That's what I hear about that show. It's just like it ruins you emotionally.
It was like I watched the first episode and it was like, oh man, here we go.
yeah, the first episode was really well made, but it didn't take any of my tears. I think I'm heartless.
You couldn't cry for a tale about a boy and his dog.
No, even though I'm a dog person and that it touches my heart, I could not cry. I don't know why.
I don't know much about the series, but when you say a boy and his dog, I'm like, oh no, I am going to die. I cried over Silver Spoon. I watched that over the weekend.
And I'm just imagining Devlin having his stuff converge and just getting into the John Wick movies.
R.I.P. Pork Bowl.
Oh, I remember Pork Bowl Rip.
That's the more recent things that I've been trying to actually marathon because I don't remember when it's going to be taken off, but I know that Silver Spoon was being moved from Crunchyroll to the Funimation app, and in terms of casting, the Funimation app doesn't work as easily on my TV. It's kind of annoying. So finish that. If you haven't seen Silver Spoon, highly recommend.
It's by the same creator of Fullmetal Alchemist, right?
Yes.
Hiromi Arakawa.
Yeah, she I think grew up on a farm, so there's a lot of it's pulled from personal experience and stuff. So if you like Fullmetal Alchemist and thought, you know what, I want to see similar character designs but in an agricultural farm. For the most part, the character designs are different, but you can tell some characters where it's that's just short Kimley.
Oh.
Or this is the guy who's friends with Maria Ross that I don't remember his name of because he didn't get much screen time.
All right, the stuff I've been watching, I got the itch to start in on JoJo's all over again. It arrived on Netflix, and I started watching it there for a second, but then I remembered it also arrived on Funimation. So I'm trying watching it with the dub, which has been interesting. Lots of fake British accents. I mainly chose Funimation because Netflix doesn't like to let you watch the credits. It just kicks into the next thing. And, I mean, half the reason you're there is for Roundabout. You gotta hear some classic Yes and weird like Aztec etchings. And that's what I'm there for. And so I just kicked on over, but I'm just about finished the first arc all over again. But then I've still been watching Dynazenon. If you're not watching SSSS Dynazenon, it's been pretty cool. That's the sequel series, sort of. It's in the same universe as Gridman. So if you're a fan of that, this is definitely something worth checking out. It's interesting watching the story develop because it's like in the previous series, there's not a lot of background music until the action starts happening, and there's a lot of in-depth studying about the characters. Like the two leads, the sort of one they're setting up as a couple, Yui and Yomogi, they have a tense standoff at the beginning, but as it develops, it follows Yui as she tries to look into the situation surrounding her sister's death. And there's some stuff like, to flash back to Wonder Egg Priority, a little bit of sort of maybe she committed suicide and what caused it. And so that's been pretty interesting. And then there's the whole scenario, one of the other leads, Koyomi, he is a hikikomori type. He just sits at home with his sister. And when he finds a woman that he crushed on and finds out she's married after they're reconnecting, he ends up going through some personal struggles in there too that are interesting to watch unfold. But at the same time, also they're piloting these giant robots against really weird kaiju. And there's a whole group of other teams called the Kaiju Eugenicists, who are trying to control the kaiju to kill everybody, and nobody really knows why. But at the same time, one of them goes to their high school. And it's weird to see them, like the antagonists and the protagonists, just sort of meet each other on the street and accept each other's existence. And sort of had some, like, snippy conversation, but otherwise not, like, fist fighting or anything. And then monsters show up and it gets crazy. But also, it's starting to fold in with stuff from Gridman now. They finally have introduced some characters from there that are sort of bringing it together that I think is really interesting. I'm excited to see where that leads, because I think things are finally start to pick up to explain what's causing all the threats and what the imminent threat overall could be. And so it's Studio Trigger, so it's going to be real pretty. Lots of bright colors. It's a lot of fun. And I've really enjoyed it a lot so far. It's my standout show, but I'm a giant robot guy, so that's to be expected.
Yeah, I've been seeing it show up on Twitter occasionally, and a lot of it is like showing like the visual parallels between the anime and the original Dynazenon live action TV show. Like they take some it's almost like a shot for shot remake of some like specific moments from the show and both shows.
Yeah, in case you folks didn't know, like originally, the original Gridman was a Sentai style show where it was live action fighting. Came over to the United States in the 90s as the Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. So, and that's why it's SSSS Gridman. That's what that sort of references. But it's got some old school kaiju feel, but a lot of emotional depth too, and so it's really interesting.
That is such a peak 90s title.
Oh yeah,
It's
totally.
the 90s in their most 90s form.
It was around the big bad Beetleborgs era too, so.
Who could forget Beetleborgs?
Right.
What?
Oh, you don't know Beetleborgs?
Oh man.
So for context, I'm a goldfish. I'm pretty sure my earliest memory is from when I was like 8. So like, I don't know.
I remember them.
Imagine Power Rangers with sort of like movie monster buddies. Like there was definitely a Frankenstein and a Dracula that sort of gave them orders.
Yeah, yep. It was weird.
It was real weird.
Like I watched a lot of the 90s, early 2000s like anime and stuff they had in the Saturday morning cartoon blocks or whatever. But when it came to the live action stuff, it just did not appeal to me.
Well, I think it's just because they borrowed a lot from the Power Rangers template of let's spend as little money as possible to get this in front of American kids' eyes and still make sense. And so it's just like we hire basic actors, pay them scale to dress up in spandex and fight and just do the silliest story around it. Because it's interesting, during the early days of the pandemic, I watched a lot of Pluto TV, which is a free streaming service. And one of the channels they have there, it's from Shout Factory, it's called Tokushoutsu. And it's just all like these old tokusatsu shows, like the original like Kamen Rider and the basis, like the Sentai shows that went on to create Power Rangers. And it's a much more serious storyline over there because it's actually got some drama to it, and it's not just like, oh, here's Bulk and Skull spilling this macaroni salad all over the Angel Grove High School cafeteria. What are we gonna do? So it's really interesting to see like it be so serious, and then when they coming over here, it's like, let's just like have everybody fall down.
I think it didn't help that I was very picky / superficial with the stuff that I watched. Like, I wouldn't watch a cartoon if I didn't like the art style, and I just saw like the Power Rangers stuff. I'm like, this looks really bad.
Yeah, it's one of like it was more of like, I wouldn't even say if it was a guilty pleasure, because I was like in my teens when that stuff hit, and it was more just like, well, I can see some cool robots doing strange fights, and I'll just go do something else while they're actually telling the story.
Get the plot out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an older brother that was really obsessed with Power Rangers, so that's where I got that side of, you know.
I had an older sister, so we were very out of their target demographic.
Are you watching anything?
Oh, yeah. I've been mostly going through my movie backlog. So we've been talking about all these super fun, like, silly shows, but I've just finished watching In This Corner of the World, the world movie. It's a historical film about a young Japanese woman who lives during World War II, and about her life near a major Japanese naval port.
Oh, okay. I've seen the cover of it, and I never knew what it was about, but I thought it looked pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty. It is super pretty. It's got a nice art style to it. The voice acting is great. I really enjoyed the characters. You really cared for each and every one of them. And the main character, Suzu, is an artist herself. She likes to paint, and that actually influences how the film depicts war as well.
Oh, ooh.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it never gets like super graphic with any of its violence, but like you really only have to see is the after effects for it to have an emotional impact.
That's nice. I need to watch that. Where did it? Do you have the physical copy, or was you?
I was able to find it on Netflix.
Oh, it's on. Okay.
I'll probably end up picking it up on a sale when it gets on, when it eventually gets discounted.
I actually just remembered a film that I watched. It's called Metropolis. Have you guys watched it? Yeah, I have never heard of it, and my friend was highly recommending it and actually forced me to watch it. It was very weird to me, but the animation caught my eye. So it's pretty much like a future society, and there's robots and humans that kind of like coexist. They have different layers to the society where robots can't enter like layer 2 or layer 3 without like certain access, and if they are, then they have these like human like police officers or like some kind of like association that would just like go in and just shoot up these robots that like went to areas that they were not permitted. And it kind of like goes on about how this weird tycoon is just like really into like building like high skyscrapers. He was trying to like build a, what was it called, like a Byzantine or
the ziggurat, maybe?
Ziggurat, that's what it's called. Byzantine is the culture that yeah. Anyways, and he was also like trying to have his daughter like be recreated as a robot to control the ziggurat. Very trippy. I kept getting like Astro Boy vibes throughout the entire film, and I could not shake them.
Well, you know, it's because it's based on a manga that was written by Osamu Tezuka.
Yep.
Whoa!
Wow.
And Rintaro, the director of the movie, actually worked on the 1963 Astro Boy series as well.
This is making all like so much sense to me now, because I just kept like thinking in the back of my mind, this just is like Astro Boy. This is just like Astro Boy. But I will say the visuals are pretty cool. You could tell like they put a lot of detail in like certain scenes and then not a lot of detail in other scenes. I didn't fully love the ending though, so there was that. But overall, like I did enjoy the film. It did catch my eye, keep my attention throughout. and all that.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, it's a really cool one. It's from 2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's from Studio Madhouse.
Oh, okay.
And it's inspired both by the Tezuka manga and the original 1927 German sci-fi film Metropolis, which was the first sci-fi film a lot of people consider it.
Oh,
And it also had to deal with robots and their place in society.
cool.
It's a really interesting one. It's been a way long time since I've seen it, but it's cool.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Feels like it's very out of my comfort zone for anything.
I mean, it was out of mine, but I still enjoyed it.
I typically just stay in my little comfy, cozy slice of life bubble with a hint of drama here and there. I watched Wandering Sun before I got pulled from Crunchyroll, and hopefully it shows up in a physical form somewhere because I want to buy it because I don't know, I think the show and the overall premise is really important, and it was done really well. Yeah, I guess if you don't know what Wandering Sun is, it's slice of life kind of drama between a middle school trans boy and trans girl.
Huh.
And it's just kind of talk about their day-to-day lives, getting through figuring out identities and stuff, and puberty's right up around the corner, so that's an additional kind of seeing things before they start to change, and I think it's from 2010 or something, so it's fairly, I don't want to say old, but it's done fairly tastefully considering the time frame. I feel gender and stuff is often kind of portrayed as a joke a lot of times. I just rewatched Princess Jellyfish too, and I feel the cross-dressing element's a little bit different than actually talking about trans identities and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's really good. And then also, I'm not gonna. I watch a lot of anime. I have a lot of free time on the weekends. I tend to watch short shows, so I'm probably never gonna watch My Hero just because it's really long. I'm never gonna watch One Piece. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh no, I'm not watching One Piece. I am reading One Piece. I don't think I could watch One Piece.
I don't think I could read it either. I like gravitating more towards shorter shows / movies. So I feel it also kind of helps me I don't know, get more familiar with the industry quicker, since when I started working here, I had about a 10-year gap where I wasn't watching anything.
Well, without further ado, let's talk about anime male nipples.
Oh boy.
Yay or nay? A calm debate.
Ban the nipple.
No.
Male nipples. Should we have them or should we not in anime?
Let's try and fill a little bit of background
Yeah,
as to why
context, please.
we're even talking about
We're
this.
not just creeps.
So earlier in the past,
In the before time. Earlier this week.
there was a discussion among a lot of Japanese anime creatives over whether they include male nipples in their anime or not. And it became a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, semi-serious discussion about it on Japanese Twitter. And luckily, ANN was able to notice those tweets and put them together into a nice little article. And it got us in the office thinking, it's one of those, because you don't really think about it until something like this comes along and kind of jogs your brain. It's when was the last time I saw an anime with male nipples in it? It's not many. So we decided that we would have a little discussion or a little debate as to whether it should be included more often.
I like how you're setting this up like we should have done research, like we're going full Lincoln Douglas here.
Exhibit A. We need charts.
Will, put your shirt back on.
Excuse me. This is a podcast. People can't see that I actually have a shirt on.
Now.
Will's actually putting on more shirts. He's up to 5. He can't be stopped.
I'm sweating right now.
He just loved that one episode of Friends.
I'm trying to think of shows that actually had male nipples, and I'm blanking on all of them. I can't even think of one.
I can think of 2, but that's only. So there's a anime YouTuber I watch who sometimes when he talks about shows, will talk about this point and how he is annoyed that most men in anime don't have nipples, and it kind of depends on the genre and stuff. If you see them more, I guess sometimes they're more likely to be drawn than others, but like, I don't know. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and Run with the Wind are the two that pop into my head, and only because he pointed them out in that video.
Wait, so they showed nipples?
Yeah, they included them.
So, like, with Armstrong then?
Oh no, there's a scene where like Roy Mustang has like he's been like attacked or whatever, and he's like, yeah, he's holding his side. Yeah, that one. There's
I think I remember that scene.
there's one there. It's not super like detailed, but it doesn't need to be.
So,
I would be more concerned if it was.
it was burned off.
Super serious action scene, like hyper realistic, like Renaissance painting of a single peck.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, I don't think they even showed it in Attack on Titan, the nipples. Wow.
From what it seems like, since you watch a lot of shonen shows, you probably don't see them a whole lot.
No, I don't. Wow.
Wow.
I feel like I've missed out on this. Wow, I'm sad. Okay. Oh wait, actually there is one that I have seen male nipples on. Gurren Lagann.
Oh,
Yes!
Kamina. Shoot, yeah.
Yes.
Shirtless all the time.
Yes, and he was one of my favorites in that show. So wow, my eyes just did not go down there, I guess. I was too focused on the sunglasses that were so
Sunglasses
awesome.
up here.
Yeah. My eyes were focused up above his head, I guess. Wow. All right. I think Luffy has nipples too.
I think Schrodinger's nipples.
Yes. There's no male nipples in Bleach either.
I told you it's shonen.
Wow! Oh my gosh! I'm just researching all of these. Well, I didn't want to do it on my computer, so I'm doing it on my phone. Incognito mode.
You just get
None in
some
Black
red flags from
Clover?
your search history.
Wow.
You know, he's gonna go into all of his different manga and just like draw them in with pencil.
So Attack on Titan doesn't have them. Bleach, there's one scene that I saw where Ichigo is like chilling in a hot spring with Yoruichi because he's learning his Bankai, and he does not have nipples either. Black Clover, Asta's always shedding his shirt, and like he doesn't have nipples.
He ripped his shirt too much. They just kind of chafed off.
They just ripped off with it?
Yes.
Like, okay. Didn't know that was an explanation.
I mean, the show's about what, wizards, right? He could just magic
Yeah.
him off, like magic him away.
He doesn't have magic.
I don't know the show.
That's the whole point. He's a boy with no magic.
And no nipples.
And no nipples.
A true
Just
tragedy.
lost out. Yeah.
Like if you
What's-
cry every time.
What's the Harry Potter spell for Expelliarmus nipples?
Axio aerial.
Oh yeah, that's good. I was trying to think like Expelliarmus. I mean, just in general, I feel like there's like maybe some like animators and mangaka and stuff should like audit a anatomy class. Cause like even when like looking through the warehouse, I'll see like super fan servicey shows or adult titles. I'm like, you don't know how boobs work.
Right? Oh
Like-
man, seeing some of these things in the warehouse,
Like,
it makes your head hurt. And if you're a woman, your back hurt.
ow.
Another series I haven't seen, but I know someone in our like office is really obsessed with it, and now I'm gonna like creep on her cubicle.
Free.
Free.
Yep.
No one. What? What? I'm
Kyo-
so confused.
Mm-hmm.
KyoAni doesn't know about them yet. They haven't learned.
Oh.
I don't think like any KyoAni shows include them.
I'm curious if she has noticed it. Or
Well-
are we gonna like shatter a wall for her?
We need to ask. Oh man! Now you've given me good prank material. Like when she goes on vacation for a week, we're just gonna get some paper and we're just gonna like blue tack some nipples on all of her art.
Okay, that would be good. That's like a step up from the live free or dive hard that we
Right?
did.
I like this. What else do we have? Like why not include the nipples?
Why aren't they there?
Why are they not there?
Maybe it's just to save time on drawing. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
animation is expensive, and to spend the time to draw those extra circles in there, it takes time and money, weirdly enough.
But
There's a nice example from the ANN article that kind of
Mhm.
illustrates this. So, Fist of the North Star is
Yeah.
another anime that is Nipples. And according to the article, the protagonist has 7 scars on his chest. So, in order to prevent him from accidentally being drawn with 9 scars, it was necessary to, and I quote, proactively turn it into a nippleless anime.
I'm confused. Why would they add 2 more scars?
Because people might confuse the nipples
Yeah,
word actually
like
for
so.
scars.
So to explain it, like the reason he's part of the reason he's called that, he has like the Big Dipper constellation in like bullet wound like scars across his pecs,
Okay.
and to put 2 more dots down there would be super awkward. Because then you're like, why does the Dipper have legs?
he's got places to go.
Yeah. I like that I pointed to my own chest when explaining all that. Now I feel real awkward.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It really
It's
helps.
just going to be really exposing me today.
It really helped visualize it for me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I talk with my hands. I can't help it.
Wow. Okay. So it might confuse some characters, like if they have stuff on their chest.
Mm.
I'm thinking of Golden Kamui, where they have the tattoos all over their
Mhm.
like bodies, and maybe that would get like weird because I don't know how tattoos really work over nipples. Sorry.
Oh.
Carefully, I think.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
painfully.
A lot of receptors down there.
Yeah. So okay, interesting.
Like, I kind of get the argument, but at the same time, like, if an animator will choose to not include 2 ovals on a male character but do like 15 minutes of jiggle physics, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
True.
But sometimes you see the women without the nipples too, and that's really weird.
Or, yeah, it's like, or like they'll have like the tiniest like fabric to like, yeah,
Yeah.
so this like
Or
single
a
thread,
bead of fog, like a little glob of
Yeah.
fog just floating right in front of a.
like this single
Character's
thread
chest.
is not gonna cover everything that you need.
Yep. But we don't draw it in. It's covered. Please give us a PG-13 rating. TV-14, however you choose.
Gosh. Honestly, I think I'm for like having male nipples just because I didn't even notice the ones that did have it in there and the ones that didn't until this issue was brought to my eyes. So
Yeah, you witnessed his awakening live in this podcast in real time.
Yeah.
but yeah, live reaction. Wow. I'm for it.
Give
It's
him.
official. Devlin is pro nipple.
Pro nipple.
I didn't have an opinion before this podcast recording, but now I really do. Hashtag free the nipples.
That's on our pros list of why you should.
Am I just a coward if I want to just take the stance of let the artist choose what they want? Like, it may add to some scenes and it may detract from others. I'm cool with whatever they think is best for the situation.
But I feel like if you normalize it, then you will forget about it eventually.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He forgot about it.
He also didn't have any to begin with. When he
Wait, I didn't have any.
Not like
We
that.
magicked them away. No, but when you were talking about like you didn't realize they weren't there because like everything you had seen just didn't have them to begin with, so like it wasn't in your mind to begin with. But like having this constant back and forth might make it a little more noticeable potentially.
I will say, because I was like going in neutral, I am leaning more now since it's like there in my mind. I'm gonna notice it.
Nipples
When
on the
it's-
brain.
Yeah, you've ruined us.
Yes, it's ruined. Like the wall is shattered. I need them.
Yeah, my only point on here on my list was just direct quote. Y'all have them IRL. Why not? Why leave them out in anime? Like we don't have to have it, all anime be direct reflection of life, but like.
Mm.
Let that be for like if someone's like 8.5 feet tall with like purple skin. Like I don't know. Like that's where the fantasy stuff can come. I don't know.
I mean, Disney has nipples.
If Disney can do it, so can anime.
Wait, Disney have nipples?
Do you not watch Tarzan?
You never seen
This
Mickey Mouse?
is true. Oh wow.
Hercules?
Hercules, yes.
Doesn't he have like a
Do they have nipples in JoJo's? Do they have nipples in JoJo?
Did I stutter?
Because that is like the main anime that I think of with males
There's some shirtless dudes.
that are shirtless.
We just added figures of the Pillar Men about a week or two ago.
Santana didn't. I don't think. Nope, they don't.
They don't.
Nope.
They do not at all.
Yep. Because I remember, I think like some of our, I don't know if it was like ads on Facebook or product placement or something that got rejected because we had the Golden Wind Part 2 Blu-ray set and they flagged it for sexual content because it looks like a shirtless lady, but like the person is a dude.
Yeah.
Haha.
Well, there's one or two coworkers that were being driven crazy by that cover.
Good or bad?
Like
Bad. Like he didn't ever want to see that character at all on the site.
oh, I gotta know. was it like because it's like they don't like the character design or? 'Cause
I
it's,
think
like, a
so.
spoiler?
Yeah, I think they thought it looked creepy.
I mean, he is kind of creepy, but like
Yeah.
he's the point. That's the point.
Yep, exactly. The Pillar Man figure definitely does not have nipples.
Yeah.
I did not expect us to get a lot of conversation out of this topic, but man,
Yeah,
I
me
was
neither.
not expecting that
we
either.
put in work.
Like I was trying to get people to talk about like what they're watching to pad the runtime, but here we go talking about.
Oh, we did great on that too.
Yeah. So I guess like have we made like a good enough case for both for and against it?
I don't think we're really arguing against. I think we're arguing.
We're-
I'm cool with whatever.
And then we're on like the team free the nipple boat.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm team free the nipple if you want.
Yeah, we should free the nipples.
all right. So we have 3 free the nipples
Just all
and 1 free the nipples if you want to.
imagining them like in a cage, and you just send them out into the farm like.
Climbing together in twos like birds.
Free range nipples.
See, I was thinking like farmland pastures, like go be free, frolic in a meadow. Silver spoons on the bed.
Okay.
Quentin, give us order.
Anyway,
Well, that was quite the debate we just had.
it was something
What's going on?
for sure.
I did not foresee this happening.
Devlin cannot unsee what he has seen.
I really cannot.
And so now that we've got that nipped in the bud, Chris, could you talk about some of the sales we're going to be having over the weekend?
Why'd you have to mention Nips going to the first sale, Will?
All right,
Right now we've got our fan service weekly specials.
That's why he had to do it.
Yeah. So that's going through Saturday. So if you like looking at the ladies, we got plenty of options there for you.
Is there
There might be a few guys in there too. I do not recall.
equal opportunity objectification?
Damn right, exactly. Let's make it fair for everybody. But this weekend we've also got a figure weekend sale kicking off today as this podcast goes up on Friday. So we got a lot of cool action figures up for grabs. And also we're kicking off our Memorial Day weekend sale. This one goes all the way through Monday. Usually our sales end on Sundays on the weekend. But this one, since you've got the holiday, we're throwing an extra day in there for you to take advantage of some great deals on new stuff. And then this coming Sunday, we're kicking off our Nozomi Sunrise 5-point and 11 Arts weekly specials.
I think
A lot of great stuff to feature there. All our Gundam series, a lot of our cool titles that we've released like Aria and Emma. So yeah, if there's something from our own house that you would like to check out, give that a go.
The only thing that I keep thinking about is whether or not some of our figures that are not adult related have nipples. I can't. It's stuck on my mind.
I hope you're happy with what you've done. You've broken Devlin.
Thanks, anime industry.
Is this just like every episode? I feel like is just turned into just deep depth, like reaches into Devlin's psyche. Like last week it was just murder and Pokemon. This week it's nothing but nipples. We're building a monster.
We're getting like the full facet of like all of Devlin's brain.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that'll be it for the Right Stuff Anime Podcast. I hope you've enjoyed another episode.
It was something else.
It was something.
It was something for sure. Hopefully Quinn does not,
Listen.
That too.
I mean, we could just tell her we spent like 40 minutes talking about.
This is what happens when you're not around.
Yeah.
We hope to see you in another couple weeks. Until then, bye-bye.
See ya.
Meet again soon.
All participants are wearing masks and practicing social distancing during this recording. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Right Stuf Anime. We'd love to hear from you. Send us your questions or comments to rspodcast@rightstuff.com, and we might just answer them in a future episode. That's rspodcast@rightstuff.com.